Okay, first of all, I'm going to take the lid off this pot. This has got mookaite in it and it's been tumbling nicely for quite a little while. Try and take this off. That is quite watery. So that's the slurry with all the rocks in. And this is mookaite, and this has been tumbling, I think, for around about 2 days. Used up all the grit. There are little bits of chips you can see in the bottom there, and that's quite normal. It's come out quite well. It's taken all the rough edges off here. Isn't that lovely? It's quite nice. So there are, like that, just a couple of really small chips. You do, like I say, you do get a lot of loss. See how rounded they've become now. So now they'll go into a much slower tumble for a few days, maybe 3 or 4 days on a stage 2 grit. We're ready for the next stage. We'll put all the mookaite into here. Some really nice, some nice pieces. And these are going to go on a much slower tumble. It's only half full, that, so I'm going to put some media in there. It just fills it up and makes sure that they're not going to crash against each other, but they also, that they get the amount of polish that they need. Shake that up so it gets a good mix, like that. Okay, if I put that over there, we're going to use some of this stuff. It's 220 grit, and this is what they call step 2. So we've already had the first step in here, so. And I might put 1, 2, might put 3 of those in there. And it needs less, mookaite needs less water. So it's about 1 inch below the top. And then I put the lid on. And that creates a good seal. There we go. Make sure that's all in. And I'll put the top on. Make sure that's all sealed. And then I just screw the lid. Screw the lid on there. And I'll just write mookaite stage 2. So we know what's in there. I'm going to give that a swirl round and put it on the tumbler. Okay, we're on to the stage 2's just finished of this mookaite. I'll take the top off and we'll see what it looks like in here. We'll rinse it off. I'll use that to prise this open. goes over there. Yeah, yuck. That's the slurry of the polish. Okay, I'm just going to tip all this stuff out. Alright, let's have a look. Oh, you can see some hematite in there. See the sort of bluey grey in there? Some hematite. So they're getting quite smooth on the edges now. And then eventually they'll all be like this. Now that was just a plain yellow crystal, and having lost some of its outside, you lose quite a bit of crystals when you tumble them, so that is now showing through. So although it just looked like plain yellow, it's surprising what's underneath. It's like this will also start to change. You'll probably find some little black dendrites and things turning up in there. Isn't that gorgeous colour? Absolutely gorgeous. Yep, these are smoothing out nice, very nicely. Won't take long on the polishing process. Mookaite is fantastic for polishing. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? There we go. That is just stunning. So the next one is going to be stage 3 after we've done this. I'm just going to put all of that. This is just filler, ceramic media we call it. I'm just going to put those back in the bottom there. And then pile these in here. I'm going to put some more filler. And we're now onto this stage 3 grit, which you can see is 400 grit. Put some of this in. 1, 2. I think that's enough because these are quite heaped spoons. Do that. Get all that coated just to just below. That's about right. We put this on, put the lid on, make sure it's in properly. Just wipe that round, and then I'll pop this lid on. Take that off. that's in stage 3 now. Put the washer on. Make sure this is properly tight. Don't want to over tighten it, but I don't want any leakage. And now I'm just going to shake that all about. Make sure the water gets right through. And that's it. That's now going on the tumbler for about 3 to 4 days maximum on the lowest speed. It's been tumbling for a few days on stage 3. So I'm going to take that out and we'll have a look and see what it looks like. Ugh. Right, and then we'll just tip this into here. So this is stage 3 of the Mookaite. Still a bit of polish left in there. We'll just give these a good spray. Try and get as much of the grit off them as possible. Look at that, isn't that stunning? Colours again. They reflect the land of Western Australia where these come from. The red soil, the oxide in the soil, manganese, that's the purple. And then the yellow jasper. This is the most common colour, is the like that red and yellow, and I usually try to avoid any Mookaite that has that in. Now that's got hematite in there, quite nice looking. I've got some more Mookaite coming, and I'm hoping that it's going to have some more blues, hints of blues and more white in it. And the white is silica. It's a stuff that does you harm if you breathe it in. Hands aren't big enough. There's a colour difference there. It's interesting. That's almost peachy, isn't it? It's yellow. There we go. Right. Just put the tumbler on there for now so you can see. Pop them all in there. And I need to put the filler back in. I'm just going to put a pile of this back in here. In fact, I'm probably going to put it all in because I don't want these clattering against each other and hammering each other. Now I need them to be quite gently cushioned as they're going in the tumbler. And that's the whole purpose of filler, is so that the rocks don't crash against each other, that they have a gentle traverse around the tumble. And the polish, it clings to the filler. And I'm saying filler, this is a filler. It's ceramic media. I'm going to start using granite, but very small pebbles of granite. So that's that. and this is step 4 polish. So I think one, they say to an inch below, but I think by the time that's swirled round, ooh! Right, now I'll pop the lid on, wipe down my mess. I made a mess there when I shook that around. I managed to make a mess in, and that needs to create a good dry seal. Right, there we go. Pop the lid on. Make sure that's on firmly. And then put the outer lid on, and we'll just screw that on tightly. Reasonably tightly, not massively tightly. We don't want to damage it. And that's that. I've just got to alter what it says on the front. Okay, we'll just change that to stage 4. So, that's Mookaite. Doing well so far. Oh, it's quite stiff to get this top off, so I'll try it on the side. There we are. It's going for about 4 days now, so see how awful it looks inside. Ugh. Let's hope that they are nicely polished. So this is the pot of doom. That's not bad. We'll get these hosed off. Gotta say, they do feel really nice. Very smooth. I quite like the irregularity of the shapes as well. I mean, how beautiful is that? Who knew that anything would look that gorgeous? And that's just nature. It's not been painted. It's not like a Chinese rock that comes with all these injections of colour in it pretending to be something else. That's the real McCoy, just as it comes out the ground. That's almost like print stone. See this pattern here? That's turning into print stone. I'm going to show you some print stone in a minute. It's lovely. I think this is the last significant piece. Yep. And this is just typical yellow Mookaite. But you know, the thing is, if you were to cut right through the middle of that, you could find something blue in there, because it actually looks like there's dark underneath this pale skin. It's quite bizarre. That's the last piece. So I mentioned print stone, and this is, I've just wetted the surface so you get an idea of the colour, but that's what print stone looks like. That's the real thing. There's no paint added to it. If you put your thumb on there, well, you can see it on my fingers, but you get like iron, the colour of the iron off on your fingers. Isn't that remarkable that a rock looks like that? That's from Western Australia. And I have another piece here. That's print stone as well. Some people might call it zebra stone, but I really think that's print stone. It's quite hard to get a polish on. It's almost impossible to tumble. It's the edge. I'll Try not to touch that bit in the middle because it'll be full of iron. There, it's all yellow. See, okay, I'll show you. That just comes off. It's just iron staining. So you want to get rid of iron stain off anything, you just use vinegar. But what about that? There we go. And then this. And this is what they call Jigalong Jasper. Little lines in that. Isn't that beautiful? It's just remarkable stuff. Look at that. Look at the edges. You can see all these. See all the lines? See if I can get that up close for you here. See all the lines? Almost agate-like. And then you've got this, almost looks like an eye. The eye of Jupiter. All these little lines here. Here we go. These are just stunning. This is the way the Mookaite has come out. So pretty. Colours. I love the colours in this. Remarkable. That's the first one. Should have saved this one to last, because this is my absolute favourite. I think this is really beautiful. It's so different from the usual Mookaite. It's got a lot of silica, all this white is silica. The manganese is the purple and the red. Gorgeous colours. It's come out really well. And then these are like your usual, the usual colours of Mookaite. Red and yellow. These are the usual colours you get. They've polished up beautifully, really come out well. And this is a paler version of the yellow. If I have that one together with it, you see that's quite dark, but this is much paler, much lighter, and white on the back. A little chip out of it there, but slight dendrites on there. Lovely, nonetheless. And see, this one has got really vibrant colours. It's got hematite in there. This is some hematite in here. Silvery black. But look at that, the vibrancy of the colours in there, the reds and the oranges, yellow and red, almost looks like orpiment. And then the ice cream, pastel ice cream shades on the top. It's lovely. It's like a painting. Almost like a modern painting. There we are, that one. Isn't that lovely? Deep, deep claret colour on there. I think this is probably one of my favourites as well. I just love the way this is. The colouring in this. That's beautiful. To think that that's just comes out of the ground, that colour. And when
it's polished, it's even more vibrant. It almost looks like the print stone there. Lovely. I've got some more whites. I did have some that had blue in. I'll cut up some more blue. Just lines of blue in there, like bluey green. And they look really well when they're polished. They really look lovely. But that's pretty, isn't it? You wouldn't put those colours together normally, but don't they look well? Gorgeous. This can be very sharp and brittle stuff, so when it chips, it really fractures. It almost looks like fractures in the same way as obsidian would. It's very brittle. And this has got this like translucency band, almost translucent through there. And when you see the land in Australia, then you realise how stunning this is, because it just reflects the land, the sunsets. Another very pretty one as well. Orange, red, yellow, white, burgundy. Isn't that very pretty, isn't it? Very, very pretty. I'm very pleased with the way these have polished. And that was the one that was just cream, but it's got this fracture on it. I think this had like hints of blue under the sort of skin of it, and I think that there's blue inside of there, pale blue. This is another very pale one, but it's got these sort of yellow dendrites on it, nearly all silica. That's lovely. The dendrites on this, that's what the black is. They're the dendrites, like little tiny trees. They look like little tiny trees the way they grow. The colours in there. Nature's amazing. You don't need to correct nature, do you? Its palette is stunning. And this one is the last one. And this one, I just thought it looks like, almost looks like tiger iron with the yellow running through it. That manganese leaves this gorgeous purple, purpley pink colours. That's a really nice colour selection in there. And it's had this weird sort of patterning on the back. There we go. That is the polished result of the mookaite. So thank you for watching, and if you would please like and subscribe, and put any comments you have in the box below. It's very important to interact with the channel, because YouTube will just dump the videos, and I'm getting 40 or 50 people watching and maybe only one comment. So please put a comment in or put a like on. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.